Welcome to an all-new episode of Meet Your Hometown Attorneys. I'm Michelle Kingsfield.
Hey, and I'm Jim Bucher, and today you'll learn more about the largest and most successful personal injury law firm in Southwest Ohio, Dyer Garofalo Mann & Schultz. You'll meet the law team that makes up Dyer Garofalo Mann & Schultz and hear from actual clients who would like to share their stories with you.
So stay with us and meet your hometown attorneys.
Hey, welcome to an all-new Meet Your Hometown Attorneys. All new, we like all new.
Yes, we
Don't
do.
we? This
Oh,
is
I'm
all
thrilled.
News stories and all kinds of new things.
And I'm really glad you could dress up for it.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Joe. We had to wear ties.
You didn't come to the meetings. They said you could wear the... Hey, but I'm with Mike Dyer and Doug Mann, the managing partners of Dyer Garofalo Mann & Schultz. And guys, now take us back to 1990. Did you just run into each other at the mall? How did this all come together?
Actually, we had heard of each other. We both were looking to start a new law firm. If I hadn't picked up the phone and called Doug, we might have been competitors today.
Yeah.
But as it turned out, I called him. We spent several months making decisions on how we wanted to run our law firm, and thank God we did, because we're best friends and been together now almost 25 years.
25 years.
Wow, that's like a good marriage. That's like a really good marriage.
Very good marriage, yeah.
And then talk about, personal satisfaction for each and every client that calls in. That's the name of the game.
Well, that's been since we started. We wanted every client, no matter what size the case, they know that we cared, and we do care. And they walk in the door from the time they talk to the first person on the phone, to the first meeting, to the first meeting with the legal assistant. They were going to know they're part of our family. They become part of our family. So we wanted to take care of them, so when they walk out and say, these guys are not like other attorneys, they really do care, and I got great service, and they took care of my case, and that's been our philosophy since day one, and we have systems in place to make sure that happens, and Mike can tell you a little bit about them.
Yeah, the systems we have set up, and in fact, Doug and I have been asked to go lecture to other attorneys around the country on how we're able to have a volume of clients and have so many clients satisfied. We have a 97% satisfaction ratio, and we've been asked to talk about that issue and how we do it. And it's basically treating your clients as you would want to be treated.
Sure.
And that's what we do.
And this is also cool too, that other law firms around the country come in because you have such a successful model.
Well, they come in from big cities too, like New York City, LA. They come to Dayton, Ohio to see our systems. And we open up our doors because we're proud of what we've created, and they're just amazed that here we did it in Ohio. Why couldn't they do it in East Coast? And it has spread. So
you would think that'd be the other way around. You would go to New York, they're coming.
You would think that way.
Certainly would think. But not only are we proud of the systems we've set up and the satisfaction we have, but we're also proud of what we do. I mean, representing injured people in their time of need. I think you're going to meet some of our clients through this series of shows. I think you'll find that most of them feel we treat them like family, and we do a heck of a job for them.
I think the worst thing someone can do if they're in an auto accident or have a family member is try to go it alone.
Oh, you can't do that
But
anymore.
people think that. They can just do it.
There's two things they do. They either think they can go it alone, and it's funny, last night I met with a client who's a friend of a friend who came to my house, and they'd gone it alone, and their case was so messed up, I told her there's really not much I can do to dig her out of the hole.
Wow.
And the other thing we see is people who go with an attorney because they text them or they write them a letter, and these attorneys a lot of times don't specialize in what we do and just simply are looking for the quick case.
And they're from other states or other counties, and they don't understand this area or the court systems around here, and so I don't know how they plan on practicing, but this is something we can handle anywhere in Ohio, and our firm's really strong about it.
And this is what this show's all about, Meet Your Hometown Attorneys, because there's attorneys calling people from all over, and they make it sound like they're from here.
And what we wanted to do was make sure that people knew that it's not just one guy, Doug, standing up there who does a great job on TV, but we got a team.
Thank you, buddy.
We got a team.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's not bad, is he?
But you should hire him.
No, we seriously have a great team. You're going to meet some of our paralegals. You're going to meet a bunch of our lawyers, and you're going to see that we have a team that is second to none.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much. And now we're going to meet not only some of the folks that work for you, but some of the great clients you've helped out. Perfect. And we're going to meet Dixie Kopp. And by the way, this segment is sweet.
And Jim, I understand you're also going to go out and see some of our other offices.
Yep, we're going to do that too.
All right.
Motorcycles are complicated. If you ride, you probably know a lot about your bike.
But when it comes to your accident case, there's a lot you may not know. For over 25 years, my law firm has protected the rights of motorcycle riders. If you get injured, don't fight the insurance company on your own. Let us fight for you. At Dyer, Garofalo, Mann & Schultz, we know the motorcycle laws as well as you know your bike. Call 1-800-INJURED and get the Tiger on your side.
Welcome to Meet Your Hometown Attorneys. I'm Michelle Kingsfield, and I'm here with attorney Doug Mann from Dyer, Garofalo, Mann & Schultz, and Dixie Kopp. Thank you so much for coming, Dixie.
Thank you.
Dixie, you just happen to be a very satisfied client, and we want to hear your story and why you are so happy with Dyer, Garofalo, Mann & Schultz. So let's kind of start at the beginning. What happened?
I had a head-on collision. Someone hit black ice, came toward my car, hit right into the passenger door, or driver's door, excuse me, and it blocked me in. I couldn't get out. They had to cut me out. And I had many injuries. My neck was broken in 2 places. Rotator cuff was torn, shattered knee. My skull was opened up down too. Brain tissue, I had blood running down my face. So it was a very serious accident.
Very frightening, I would imagine.
Yes, it was. I don't have much memory, and they say that's normal, but it's frightening to me because I'd had a stroke 2 years before. I thought the accident was my fault. It wasn't. It was just weather accident.
And unfortunately, we've talked on this show several times about how once someone's in a serious accident, you get all these lawyers sending you letters, calling you up. Tell me a little bit about that.
My oldest son, Derek, had been at the hospital, and we were talking about, Mom, you need an attorney. You really need a good attorney. And he had been Mr. Mann's landscaping person in the summer, and he said, I'm going to call them and see if they'll send someone up. He called 3, 4 different places, and they all sent people, but it was very difficult for me because I have a neck brace on. I am immobilized. One gentleman sat and looked at the TV all the time. He was in my entire room. Another guy just told me, well, it's going to cost you 40% of your insurance, because if we go to trial, that's what I charge, 40% of the total.
So you weren't really feeling any connection with these attorneys?
Frightened, very frightened.
And at a really difficult time where you're trying to, you know, really heal and kind of just get your mind wrapped around what just happened. So how did you end up? Your son called, and then you
on
met
Christmas Day.
Yeah, this
Doug.
is on Christmas this past year, and I came about 2 days after Christmas and met Dixie, and what a positive spirit I felt right away, and a connection, and I knew we could help her, and I felt, even though everybody else was saying she wouldn't end up with anything, I felt we could help her, and we did.
The one thing he said was, you have $1 million case. Now, you're probably never going to get $1 million, but you will never have less money than we have. We will always have money for you before we take any money out of that insurance.
Which is highly unusual in the legal world.
Right.
Everybody else told her they'll take their fee and good luck paying your bills. Dixie had a lot of bills, and she would have ended up in the hole, but we were able to negotiate all of her bills, get the maximum we could, and do it within a 6-month period of time.
Yes.
So her case is closed now, and it ended up fairly well for Dixie, and we became friends through this whole process too. So that makes it
such
exciting
good
for me.
friends that Dixie visits the office several times in the past 6
Yes, she
months,
has.
and she brings one of her famous cakes.
Not
huh?
one.
Pies.
She'll bring 15 pies for the
Wow.
whole firm.
Oh,
And
my gosh.
Caramel corn that's fantastic, and we appreciate it. She's a great baker.
My friend Susan's been a great help through all this, and if it hadn't have been for Brenda Brown, who is the general office
Operations manager.
and Susan, I don't think I would have been as stable as not having them check on me. Brenda called. She sent people by the house. I was
She
there
even
by
brought
myself.
Your favorite pie today.
Oh my gosh, another one from Dixie. Well, you know what? Somewhere here, I happen to have a fork, so.
because you knew Dixie was coming,
What do we
right?
have today? What-
Peanut butter pie.
oh my gosh.
Homemade.
Thank you very much, and this is all for me?
It's a favorite.
Oh,
Well, I
you
got to try a
can't.
little
You
bit
gotta
of it.
share.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
good.
Dixie.
I think that's
Keep them coming.
fantastic.
Keep them
I
coming.
will. I will.
Thank
you very much.
Well, you know, it's a pleasure. It really
you.
is. It really is.
Thank you.
And it's not often you make friends with your attorney like this.
No.
No.
That's a great thing.
And they've been very good to me. Very good to me. I never felt endangered at all.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you, Dixie.
Well, it's nice to meet you. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
And stay where you are because Jim Bucher is on the road looking at one of just the many offices of Dyer, Garofalo, Mann & Schultz.
This is a 1-800-INJURED medical alert for patients of the Da Vinci surgical robot.
If you or a loved one had a hysterectomy or prostate surgery performed using the Da Vinci surgical robot and suffered serious medical complications, call the number you see here. If you had to undergo additional surgeries because of these complications, you may be entitled to a large cash award. Call this number right now.
Calling the Tiger, you may be entitled to a large cash award. Call 1-800-INJURED today.
Hey, Jim Bucher here in Lima in Allen County, paying a visit to one of the many Dyer, Garofalo, Mann & Schultz satellite offices. That's right, it's Bucher's Tiger Beat on the road. We made it. Here we are at the satellite office in Lima, right across the street from the Allen County Fairgrounds. And come with me now as we meet the staff here. And here we are, and look who's working over here. Lauren, I hate to interrupt you because you're so busy.
It's okay.
Lauren, thanks for inviting us up today. Now tell the folks what you do and a little bit about the office here in Lima.
I'm a paralegal here in Lima. I basically meet with all of our new clients and prepare their files for the attorney to negotiate their claim with the insurance company.
Okay, and you get all kinds of cases, right?
Yes.
Like what? Give us an idea.
Automobile accidents, motorcycle accidents, dog bites, slip and fall, you name it.
A to Z.
A to Z.
It's kind of nice to know, too, that you folks that live up this way don't have to drive to downtown, that you're right here, right in their backyard.
That's right. You don't have to drive the hour and 15 minutes to our Dayton office. You can come here in Lima and meet with your attorney.
Okay. Now, did I hear some noise in the next room? Is there somebody?
I think you did. I think you heard Jessica.
I need to go talk. Let's go surprise
Let's
her.
go see what she's doing.
Let's go. Jessica, I apologize. I know you're busy, but Lauren sent me in here, so if there's a problem, just blame her.
I will.
All right, tell us what you do here in Lima.
I am the satellite office assistant manager.
Okay, what does that mean? What do you do?
I travel to all the different 13 offices and take care of our staff as well as other clients.
Wow, so you put a lot of miles on the Tiger van.
A lot of miles on the Tiger van.
You're probably everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
All right, so what's that feeling like, though, knowing you're helping people up this way, that they don't have to drive to Dayton?
I think it's a great feeling to help a client. They think their insurance company is going to take care of them, but they really don't. That's our job.
That's what it's all about. All right, and then give the folks your location. Where are you located here?
We're located at 2727 Harding Highway, directly across from the Allen County Fairgrounds.
Right directly across, too. Okay, so if you're hesitating out there to make the call, don't. Just do what?
Call 1-800-INJURED or see us at ohiotiger.com.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Thanks for coming and seeing us.
Remember, there's 13 satellite offices of Dyer, Garofalo, Mann & Schultz all over the Miami Valley, so no matter where you are, the Tiger is there for you. Hey, catch us next time. It's Bucher's Tiger Beat on the road. Hey, to see more of Bucher's Tiger Beat on the road, right here at Dyer, Garofalo, Mann & Schultz, and all the satellite offices all over the Miami Valley for your hometown attorneys, just go right here to their Facebook page. It's easy, and you can check them out at your leisure.
Ride, rest assured, you've got the Tiger on your side. Call 1-800-INJURED today.
Well, it's time now to meet two more of your hometown attorneys. Mike Dyer and Pierre Tismo join me now. Great to see you.
Hey, Michelle, it's really nice to see you again. Since we've done a couple of these shows, I've heard a lot of people say that, how the heck did you get Jim and Michelle? And I said, Channel 2's loss is our gain. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. So, Pierre, tell us exactly, one of the biggest things that you do at the firm is truck accidents. And since we all are on the roads with trucks every day, why is it so important that we need an attorney for that specific thing?
Well, the federal laws are set up, Michelle, to where truck drivers are only allowed to drive no more than 70 hours a work week, which consists of 8 days for a truck driver. But unfortunately, the trucking industry, when I say that, I mean the employers, not the truck drivers, incentivize their truck drivers to drive over that 70-hour period because, of course, they want to get their freight on time because the employers won't get paid. So what's happening is that these truck drivers who are just trying to put food on their table have to make a decision. Am I going to drive fatigued Am I going to speed to try to get there on time so I don't get penalized? And what that's causing is, unfortunately, the catastrophic injuries or death cases that I see. For example, I had a truck driver that drove from West Virginia to Xenia who ran in the back of a local nurse's vehicle at about 6 a.m. And he told the state police that my client pulled out from the shoulder in front of her. Well, we were able to get an accident reconstructionist on the scene quickly because of the resources we have, being one of the largest firms in the state of Ohio.
And the other thing, Pierre, is we are able to get accident reconstructionists on the scene all over the country. We've handled cases in many, many states, and Pierre, as soon as he gets the information, if a family member of the injured person calls us, we're able to, we just had a case in South Carolina where you won over $1 million on that case. As a result of getting on the scene early and doing the job right.
So I'm hearing about the urgency, and when we're talking about getting on the scene right away, if I'm in an accident, that's not the first thing I'm going to be thinking about. So what do you mean by right away? Is that in a day? Is that how quickly do you call?
Sure, I can give you a real life example. While you're you're coming over the shock and the grief of your loved one being injured or killed, it's the last thing you think about, like you said. But just recently, in an exit in Xenia and I-71 as you're heading towards Columbus, a truck driver pulled in front of my client's husband who was on a motorcycle, and they claimed it was his fault. And the trucking company actually helicoptered in their accident reconstructionists to try to take pictures of the different markings on the roadway, the debris pattern, to show that it was my client's fault. So they had the advantage in that situation because, unfortunately, our clients, of course, wouldn't have the presence of mind at that moment to call us. But we have other examples where they have called us. They were sitting in the hospital room. They happened to see perhaps a commercial of Dyer Garofalo Mann Schultz, or they'd known us because we're a brand in this community for many years, and they said we should call them. And we've got an accident reconstructionist out on the scene, that example that I started to tell you about, where we combated the truck driver saying that she cut out in front of the truck driver, when in essence, we got the black box. He fell asleep. The black box showed he never braked. There were no other cars on the highway, and he ran right in the back of my client at 78 miles an hour, which is what the black box. So if you don't get there quickly, evidence can somehow disappear. And again, the trucking industry has created this culture where they're forcing their employees to drive fatigued and to speed. And I had another case where 2 people were killed recently here locally. And the truck driver said he was 2 hours away from the accident scene before it actually happened. And we were able to get his GPS coordinates, his fuel receipts, his credit card receipts to show that he was there. Because it was a hit and run, and he claimed he wasn't even there.
When you talk about black boxes, though, are we talking about the kind that you would see, you'd be hearing about in airplane crashes? I mean,
so they're similar. They're boxes that are put in by federal regulation that show you the exact speed, the exact braking of a car or a truck right before 5 seconds before an accident. Okay. And the thing I also want to make sure people understand is if circumstances have caused you not to be able to get hold of us quickly, still get hold of us when you realize that this is getting a little more complicated than you realize, because these trucking cases are very technical. You can't just hire a general practice person to help you with it. You need a specialist, a guy that understands the regulations, understands how to preserve the evidence. And Pierre would be a very good one in this case because he's handled so many trucking cases and he's handled them all over the country.
Fantastic. We could keep talking about this for a long time. Thanks so much. Very helpful information. And stay right where you are because Jim Bucher is up next to introduce you to another hometown attorney, John Smalley.
Social Security Disability Alert. I'm Doug Mann. You know my law firm, Dyer Garofalo Mann & Schultz. We have successfully represented thousands of injured people, but what you may not know is that we have one of the fastest growing Social Security disability practices in Ohio. Unlike other law firms, we will take your case right from the beginning of your application instead of telling you to call us after you've been denied. So if you filed for Social Security disability benefits or you're thinking about applying, call in the Tiger today. We will help you right from the start.
Hi, everyone. Joining us now is world-renowned, award-winning attorney John Smalley. Can we get a round of applause? And look at it. You got your own fan club in here, John. You see you all over the place. You're in the newspaper. We always see John. I want John Smalley on my side. But, hey, take us back. You've been with Dyer Garofalo Mann & Schultz since when?
1995.
And then what did you do prior to that?
From 1985 to 1995, I worked for the insurance companies. I was a very successful and very busy trial lawyer, and I tried a lot of lawsuits for State Farm, Erie Insurance, auto owners insurance. I represented a lot of cities all over the country.
And then how'd you end up with these guys? I understand there's rumor going out that that Mike Dyer called you nonstop for 5 years. Is that true?
I don't know nonstop, but Dyer Garofalo, Mann & Schultz has been around since 1990. And very soon after Dyer Garofalo, Mann & Schultz started out, they called me and wanted me to be a part of the firm. I'm really happy that they stuck with it, and I finally came around.
Okay. And then what are you doing now? Tell the folks what you do now.
Well, what I do now is a wide variety of trial work. I'm in trial all the time. I like being in front of a jury. And I will try cases that arise from a car wreck, if there's a car wreck representing somebody that's been injured. I also represent people in class action lawsuits. We represented the city of Miamisburg when the plant exploded and the city was evacuated. And we represented the city and got a multi-million-dollar result. We represented all the injured workers in the entire state of Ohio and sued Ohio. Got a $52 million verdict in that class action lawsuit. Wow. And pretty much every day what I do is just fight to get insurance benefits that you're entitled to recover, you pay premiums for, and the insurance companies won't pay the benefits that you're entitled to receive.
All right, so you don't want to go it alone.
You really don't. You think that you can buy insurance, pay your premiums, and then when you get hurt and when you need your insurance company the most, that they'd pay you the benefits that you have an entitlement to, but they don't. And you really need to hire an attorney and fight to get those benefits.
Right. So when you were working for the dark side and now you're working for the good side, obviously, can you see, I mean, kind of describe both? I mean, you saw some of the ways you were handling folks before and exploiting things.
Well, let me tell you, for 10 years, I watched the insurance company take advantage of people's weaknesses. People, if they're older or have arthritis or they had a prior wreck, the insurance company will take advantage of those things to avoid paying what they're obligated to pay in the accident that these folks just had. So I see the insurance companies taking advantage of people. I saw it on the side when I worked for them, and now I get great joy in making sure it doesn't happen to our clients.
Yeah, that's good. And then personal satisfaction. What makes you go every day? What makes John Smalley tick?
Knowing that if we weren't there to help people, they wouldn't get a fair shake from the insurance company. When we step up and represent them, they get what they're entitled to. And it's just great.
There you go. One of the fine members down here at your hometown attorneys at Dyer Garofalo, Mann & Schultz. John Smalley, thank you very much.
Thanks,
and we're not going to hold it against you. You're a Browns fan.
It's loyalty.
It's loyalty. Thanks, John, very much. Hey, Michelle's up next with John Carlson.
(1-800-INJURED) Medical Alert. Metal-on-metal hip implants have been recalled due to device failure. If you have a metal-on-metal hip implant, you may be entitled to a large cash award. Call 1-800-INJURED today. Metal-on-metal hip implants have been linked to serious complications, including joint stiffness, severe pain, and device failure that may require corrective surgery. If you have a metal-on-metal hip implant and experience side effects, call 1-800-INJURED today. You may be entitled to a large cash award.
It's time now to meet two more of your hometown attorneys. Joining me now, Doug Mann and John Carlson. Welcome. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
First of all, I want to thank you for your service to our country.
You're
welcome.
Thank
we
you,
certainly
John.
appreciate it.
Yeah, John, we brought him here, and we're proud to have him back in the firm. He came to us about 14 years ago as a law clerk and did a nice job. We enjoyed meeting him back then, and then he left us. He went to the prosecutor's office here in Montgomery County, and of course he's in the military. He's going to talk about that. And we were able to get him back about 3 years ago, and we're so happy to have him back in the firm. So,
fantastic. So first of all, tell us a little bit about your service.
I've been lucky enough to serve in the Ohio Air National Guard. I've been in the Guard now for about 12 years. Through my service, I've been to Iraq on 2 different occasions. One time, I got to work on engineering projects, and the last time I was there was in late 2009. And at that time, I worked with the Iraqis getting their justice system up and running.
Wow. Well, now you're back here. and helping the good folks of our area. So tell us what you do with the law firm and why you wanted to come back.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Right, exactly. Why'd you leave in the first place?
It's an interesting story. I started with the law firm back in 1999 when I was a law student at the University of Dayton. I worked part-time, and it was interesting. During that time, it was almost like the heyday of the injured person's rights at that point. It just seemed like back then the law and the state laws were much more helpful to the injured party. I finished law school, and at that time I thought government service was my calling because I had such a large background in the military. I spent the next 8 years in Montgomery County. I learned from doing child support cases to juvenile delinquents all the way up to doing felony murders. All through that time, I stayed in touch with some of the attorneys at Dyer Garofalo, and I would always ask them, hey, do you guys have any openings? Do you have any openings? And it was amazing. After my last tour in Iraq, I came back. I was just looking for something more, and luckily found out they had an opening, and I found out they had an opening. I had my resume in there within 2 hours of finding out.
And we brought him back almost immediately, right next week or two, and he's doing a great job for us. He does our mini lit department, litigation, does a lot of our litigation, and plus you work in a couple of our satellite offices in Xenia and St. Mary's, and everybody likes John. He gets things done, and that's what we like about him, and he's very personable, and clients love him, and again, I hope he's here with us a long time.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love about where I work at the firm. I can do from cradle to grave almost, so to speak, where I will meet with the client when they first come in or they first call in, and a lot of cases I can negotiate, get them done. Some of those we need to file a lawsuit because unfortunately, it's been my experience now more than ever, they really don't care too much about the injured person's rights. So, but I tell you what, when I file a lawsuit and they see that I work at Dyer Garofalo Mann & Schultz, they know that I have a large firm that's not afraid to fight for our clients in court, and that seems to make a real big difference.
And I bet you are excited to have him back.
We are, and like I said, we hope he's here a long time. He's part of our family. Thanks, John.
Fantastic.
And thanks for your service, John.
You're welcome.
You know me, and you know my law firm. My family's from Dayton, Ohio, and I come from a long line of hardworking family members. I've worked in factories like this, and now my firm is proud to represent injured workers' rights. I'm personally aware of the suffering caused to families by on-the-job injuries. Workers' compensation laws are not fair to injured workers. Don't let your employer intimidate you. Let my firm level the playing field and protect you and your family's future. Call us today at 1-800-INJURED and let us fight for you.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed meeting your hometown attorneys at Dyer Garofalo Mann & Schultz and learned how they can help you with your case.
Hey, I've learned a lot, and you've seen that the tiger really is on your side, but we've only scratched the surface when it comes to how Dyer Garofalo Mann & Schultz can help you.
Be sure to join us on the next episode of Meet Your Hometown Attorneys, when we'll meet more satisfied clients and we'll introduce you to more of the tough, smart attorneys at Dyer Garofalo Mann & Schultz.